now it's time to be dangerous. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you can impact. Now it's time to find out what you were destined to become.
Hey everyone, it's Eric here with Raw Minds Podcast. I got someone on the show today who's literally hit rock bottom so hard it felt like there was that it felt like there was no coming back. Mike O'Brien. He was a heroin and meth IV user, homeless with nowhere to go. He lost his girl, his kids, his family, his hope. The only thing that he hoped for was an early death, but he didn't stay down there. Today he's got his partner by his side. She's clean too. All his kids are at home full time, his own fitness business, and he's helped other addicts in recovery smash their next level. This guy took the deepest pain and turned it into purpose. We're going to dig into how he did it, what keeps him still going, and what keeps him showing up when life hits you with everything and you have no energy left. Because that's the kind of real talk that brings Raw Minds together. If you're riding with us for the first time, I want you to comment, share, like, follow, so this message spreads, and because someone out there needs to hear it. So no further ado, let's bring out Mike. Welcome to the show, Mike.
What's up, man? Good to be here. I love your
What's going on?
intro, by the way, man. That gets me amped up.
Thanks.
I love that.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I kind of to be honest with you, my daughter walked in the room and I was like trying to shove her away because I was like going live. So I was kind of messing up the intro a little bit there. So sorry if anybody was listening, but I was trying to tell my daughter to get out of the room.
Yeah, that's
so,
all good, bro.
but I like to at the start. I like to get all my guests to plug all their stuff where people can reach out to you. So if you could do that, man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys can find me on Facebook as Mike O'Brien. You'll see my whole picture on there as a coach, or on Instagram as Coach Mike O'Brien.
And you'll be able to get all that stuff in the description below. So Mike, please tell me a little bit. Who is Mike O'Brien? Who are you? If you can give us a little bit of a backstory and we can get into it.
For sure. So much, man. So much to dive into. So I am Mike and I'm an addict, right? And I'm going to start with that, not because I identify as the person who I used to be, but because that person is a massive part of why I am who I am today, right? And I also want to share that because that was the first time I really got honest with myself, was when I shared my name's Mike and I'm an addict. And so I'm in a 12-step recovery program and the 12-step community. And so that's what we do, right? We share our life openly. I share my life openly because I want other people to know there's hope, right? So to go back, growing up, when I was 6 years old, things kind of really took a turn when I was 6. My mom decided that she was a lesbian and kind of left my dad for the neighbor lady. And it was at that time that was not a normal thing, right? At that time that was very frowned upon. It was not out in the open. Nobody did that. Nobody talked about it. If they did, it was very shunned upon, right? And so that kind of threw my whole household for a loop, obviously, right? It was this big chaos going on, and I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. I just knew everything was wrong. And as a young kid, I just internalized it like it was all my fault, right? It was I couldn't keep my dad around. I'm not good enough. Why is he leaving? You know what I mean? All that stuff popped up. I didn't realize that until later on, going through therapy and stuff, but that's what was essentially happening when I was really young, right? So fast forward a little bit, I put on some weight when I was, hitting puberty, and I started getting made fun of a lot, picked on for being overweight and fat. And at this time, I only had one friend, and he got kicked out of the school I was in and went to a different school. And I remember at that point, I decided to move out of my mom's house and move in with my dad. And I switched schools at this point. And I remember very vividly in my head, I logically thought to myself, I'm going somewhere new, I can be somebody else, right? I remember thinking that, and looking back at it now, it's I really just hated who I was, right? I wasn't a fan of who I was. I felt very insecure, unlovable, I'm not good enough, all that shit. And so I go to this new school in this new environment, and I was like, yo, I can be somebody different. And so I really tried to be somebody that wasn't me, right? And so I started hanging out with a different kind of crew, a different kind of crowd. I started acting out. I started smoking, picked up drugs. I started with weed, and it just slowly started progressing, right? And it wasn't very long, man, before things got really, really bad, So we'll fast forward a little bit past this. I'm in high school, and so I'm 17 years old, and I find out that I'm going to be a dad, right? And I'm yo, like I don't even know how to take care of myself. Like, what am I gonna do? And so my genius idea at the time, excuse me, was like, I gotta fucking drop out of school and start selling drugs. Like, it's the only way I'm gonna be able to take care of this kid. You know what I mean? And so then it just like progressed on that level, being in that environment, man, and like, hanging with those kinds of people, doing those kinds of things, like things progressed for me very quickly. And like, I'll even back it up a little bit. So like I remember when I had my first drink, man, and it was like the first time I felt like I didn't care who I was and like I could just be free. You know what I mean? It was like this feeling of freedom where I just like wasn't worried anymore. I just like was out there and like nothing fucking mattered. It was like this little space of peace, right? Fake. It was a little space of
Yeah.
peace. And so like from that moment on, it was like I was always seeking that little space of peace, right? And so like as I'm doing that, using substances to achieve that goal, you know what I mean? It's very quickly that it becomes a habit and then it becomes a necessity, right? And so like we'll fast forward a little bit forward and like I started shooting up when I was 19, man. Right. I remember I was 19. I was
Yeah.
like planning on going to treatment at this time. And like at this point, my oldest son's mom was escorting and like there was all this stuff going on there that was messed up. And I remember I
Can I
got,
stop you there?
yeah, bro. Yeah.
What in like I've always wondered because I'll be totally raw with you. So I walked in, like my fiance passed away 2 years ago, right? She OD'd, and there was actually one time I walked in. This is how I found out that she had a problem. And I walked in on her, and she was literally sticking a needle in her in the bathroom, and I was blown away. Like I didn't even know that even she was even involved in that. Right? She was 5 years clean. So it blew me away. But like, what got you to the point of injecting? That's, if you don't mind, like what brought you to that, and like, because with her, it was someone she dated in the past and he just pushed that on her, so like, I just want to know the mind frame, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
like what
100%.
mind frame got you to that?
Yeah, so like at that time, I was heavily using and like I just smoked it at that point. And then I got actually sick like from smoking those carton bags of cigarettes. So like my throat was all fucked up and like inhaling the substance was hard and painful. And also part of it was like the guy that I was staying with, like that's how he used constantly all the time. That's just how he used. And so it was kind of on my mind of like, what's that like too? At this point, like I had tried like everything, right? I had moved up
Mm-hmm.
substances, tried absolutely everything. And then it's just like, I don't know, I think it was just part of the process, part of the progression
Yeah.
of the disease, right? And I got to that place where I was like, I can't even smoke this shit anymore. And I was like, dude, like you gotta do that for me because like I'm dope sick and I can't fucking use.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Yeah.
from that time
Okay,
on,
so
dude, it was like that's all bets
and
are
it's like
off.
chasing it, I guess, and you're
Hmm.
chasing it. You're chasing that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just for people out there, I just want to, so people understand,
Yeah,
like
100%.
in different situations. Sorry to cut you off. So going back to that, so you started injecting.
Yeah, so it was like I was already like talking to my family a little bit about going to treatment and wanting to get out of this and like obviously feeling like I was trapped and in this place I didn't belong. And like my
Hmm.
sister even flew out from Australia at this point to come there and try to help me. And like as soon as that happened that day, man, I knew like I needed to get out or I was gonna die because like I'll be honest, it felt so good in that moment and it was like the closest to death that I ever got without being dead. And it was like, it sounds crazy to say that, but like my goal was to just be not here. Do you know what I mean? And so like,
Hmm.
my
Yeah.
goal at that point, the peace, the place of peace I was looking for had progressed so much so that just like unconsciousness basically was the goal, if not death, right? And
Right.
so it was like when I used that way with that substance, it like really fucked me up to the point where I was like, holy shit, like I gotta change. Right. And so that pushed me, that and another incident when I stole a car pushed me to try treatment for the first time. Right. And
Hmm.
so after that, I went to my first treatment and my first treatment experience was horrible. I went out there on my own. I was 19 and like I didn't have any court conditions or anything to go. I just literally wanted to get better. Right. And I had my son at this point. Right. I didn't have him in my care, but my mom had my son. And like, I'm like, dude, like I got to be a dad. Right. So I go through this whole process to go to Vancouver. I live in Kelowna. So to go to Vancouver and to get clean, and it was crazy, man. Like it was my first experience going out there to any treatment, to anything like this at all. And like the experience within those facilities was horrible. However, it brought me to my first meeting where I actually seen my first cake. So there's people taking cakes, celebrating clean time. And it
Hmm.
was like it was astonishing to me, not only that somebody was clean for that long, but like how many people were there loving them and supporting them. And like you could feel that energy. You know what I mean? I could feel like
Yeah.
that excitement, that love, that connection. And
Yeah.
like I didn't have a part of it because I was on the outside,
Mhm.
right? But I was looking in like, wow, like that's crazy. And I think that was the moment that really planted a seed in my brain of like where to go. You know what I mean? When I wanted to get
Yeah.
clean, right?
So I'm gonna stop you there for a second.
Yeah.
So I just want to. So was it like have you been to like a hockey game or football game or something like that, or like you go watch a concert, right? Was it like that? Like that? You know how you can feed off the energy of like the room, and did that really like then that energy can change you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
And that's kind of what took it on is like even church. A lot of people go to
Hmm.
church and they go there not even just not for God, but also the unity,
Hmm.
and what it brings to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
100%.
mean, I could totally see that, being in a room with people cheering someone on, and it just brought love into you. Really,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
brought love and want you to change. So that's awesome.
Yeah, there
But
was
yeah, I
literally
just
like
want to clarify that.
hundreds of people in this room. It was a big, massive gymnasium, and like just hundreds of people in there, and everybody was celebrating these people taking clean time. And it was like everybody knew each other, and everybody was like on the same page. It was just some shit I've never seen before, right? And it was
Yeah,
attractive, man, because I'm like, dude, like
yeah,
everyone looked so happy and like excited, and I'm like, I hadn't felt excited for years up until this point, man. I just wanted to
mhm,
die, right? And so to like
yeah,
see that firsthand, you can tell if it's real. You know what I mean? Like being in that environment, like you can
mhm,
tell if it's fake or not. It's confusing and I didn't
yeah.
understand it, but I could still tell that it was real, right?
And that's what brought you back and back and back is that
Yeah,
moment, pretty much. I guess you
yeah,
could say, right?
yeah. Because I was
I
like,
just
man,
want to say to anybody listening to this right now, don't be scared to go. Don't be scared to take that step. I mean, those people in AA, right? They were in the same spot as you. Like not just you, Mike, but I mean like anybody that's listening that's dealing with addiction right now. I mean, like don't be scared to go in there because I've been to it and people help each other out all the time. It's a big community. It's a huge community, really.
yeah,
So I just want to say that anybody out there listening, like, don't be scared. Take that step because it could change your life. So I just wanted to put that out for anybody listening.
yeah, 100%, man. Like I went that time, and then like I said, I like it was a bad experience, and I ended up having to run away from the treatment facility I was in because they were trying to get me court ordered to stay there. It was all this crazy shit, man. And I ended up fucking stealing a truck to get home from Coquitlam. I didn't even know where
Crazy.
I was. Yeah, it was crazy, man. And then I ended up back home. And by the time all this shit had happened, they had called my mom and told her that I was relapsing. So then she wasn't about to help me. My dad wasn't about to help me because they thought I was just,
Hmm.
doing the thing again. And so then I came back to Kelowna with nowhere to go. And I'm like, dude, like I actually want to stay clean, but I have nowhere to go. Ended up going back to the dealer's house that I was staying at prior, and then everything just took off again, man.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in jail shortly after that, which was a blessing in disguise, right? I got picked up
Yeah.
and put in there, and I dried out in there for a minute. And, like some crazy shit happened when I was in there, man, where like I could have fucking died. So like I did some stuff before going in that people found out about, and then like so one of the guys that was on unit with me, I like did some shit for him on the outside, and so like he liked me and respected me, whatever. And like he was taking care of me in there, man. Like when I was dope sick, he was like giving me Tylenol and like feeding me and like just trying to take care of me, And
Yeah.
this whole situation happened, but he was very well known. Like I was a nobody, but he was very well known. And it was like there was a point where like I literally went into the shower room thinking I was gonna get stabbed because I just wanted to get it over with. And I was like fucking done waiting. And then he came into the room, bro, and he's like, "Hey man, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's taken care of." And I was like, "What?"
Bro.
Yeah, dude. And then I just like nothing happened after that, right? I just did my time, and like I started talking to my kid again and trying to get out. And then I went from jail straight to another a treatment facility, but this time in Kelowna, and that's where like I started to really jump in and start to learn some stuff. And it's crazy to think about, man, because like that was so long ago, right? And it took me 7 years from that point, 7 years of trying over and over and over and over and over again until I got clean this time and stayed clean. And now I'm just passing 7 years now of long-term
Amazing,
clean
man.
time, right? But it was like 14 years of addiction. 7 of those were trying to stay clean before I got clean, and now 7 years of being clean. You know what I mean?
Good for you, man. That's amazing, though. Good for you, bro.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
for you,
appreciate
man.
it. Never could I have done this on my own, right? Like I owe all this
Yeah.
to my higher power, bro, and like the community that I'm surrounded by. Like even like I'm probably gonna bounce around from my story a little bit. Just
No, that's okay.
yeah, we were 5 years clean, this is just to say like how powerful a community behind you is, right? We were 5 years clean. We got all three of our kids home. Me and my partner are doing well. We're both working. We're paying our rent. You know, paying our bills was a big thing because I just didn't have it before. So
Hmm.
like we're doing the thing, man. We're productive members of
Yeah.
society, right? We're showing up, and then all of a sudden our house burned down, right? And it's like, dude, like we just spent 5 years building and building and building, and then lost everything in an instant. And like, dude, the community we're in carried us. They literally carried
Wow.
us, man. They brought us food. They gave us clothes. They gave us supplements for the gym. You know what I mean? Gym shoes, gym
Really?
bags. Yeah, bro. Like they took care of us hard. My cousin got us an Airbnb so that we could stay somewhere with our kids and be safe. And like we bounced around from Airbnb to Airbnb with our kids homeless, trying to find a freaking house while I'm in schooling to become a fitness coach. So I'm doing my course while we're like bouncing from Airbnb to Airbnb so I could pass it, right? And then my girlfriend's going through the list of all of our stuff that we had, everything that we owned, so that we could deal with insurance, right? So it was like, it was wild, man. It was the craziest freaking time in my recovery, but the community held us up, right? And like it was funny because like that happened, and it wasn't like at any moment did I think I was going to use, man. Like I was so
Mm.
secure in my recovery and in the community that held us up that I was like, I just knew where to go. You know, I called my
That's
sponsor, I talked to my
awesome.
sponsor. They were out of the country traveling, and we just got connected with them right away. They stayed in touch. We got connected with all the other people in our community because there's freaking thousands of us, right? And we just stayed close, man. And it was like we didn't have to carry any of that weight by ourselves.
That's amazing, man. It's beautiful when like people come together, you know, and like this isn't like a solo journey.
Yeah,
If anything, man, you need to reach out and ask for help in this because
100%.
it's hard, man. I mean, like you've been trying. You said for 7 years trying to get clean. You know what I mean?
And that was all on
And
my
it's
own,
like,
bro.
yeah, man, you know what I mean? And then you have
Yeah.
this community and you got people to pick you up if you fall.
Hmm.
And you know what? I'm going to say it's okay. It's okay to take a knee sometimes, right? It
Hmm.
really is okay to take a knee as long as you get up though from that knee, man. That's the most
100%.
important part is to stand back up, right?
Yeah.
How was your mental health though going through that? Like how did you deal with your mental health? Like
Through the
I
fire?
guess the
Yeah.
gym was probably a big help,
Dude, the
right?
gym has like saved my life more times than I can count, man. Like honestly, in terms of like having some form of structure, some form of like control in my life, because I can show up or I don't, and it's like somewhere to see some sort of progress or like a place where I can always move forward. I just feel like I'm on the path and I'm steady moving forward, right? And in recovery, like if I'm not moving forward, I'm falling backwards. You know, so it's
Hmm.
been a freaking pillar in my journey, you know, and like we just stayed in the routine. It's like, hey, we're still gonna get up at the same time in the morning, even though we're not going to work. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to come back, and then we're going to work on, finding a place and finding furniture and, doing that whole process, right? But it was like we stayed in the structure that had kept us clean from the beginning, and we just moved forward with that, and it was like, that's just what we did, bro. We just showed up. And it's honestly,
And
it's
then you
fun.
got your partner. You
Yeah.
got
And
your partner too, you know, that's your rock too, and you guys are helping each other too at the same time, right?
Yeah, bro, we went through addiction heavy together, right? So like this partner too ended up doing getting into escorting and stuff like that, right? And so it's like we had to go through all of that coming into recovery and try to heal through that,
Hmm.
and like the shit that I did, right, that hurt her through addiction. And like, bro, it's crazy, man. There's I always tell this story because it's so funny and so significant. We're homeless and we're laying in a playhouse behind the church, right? And it's piss and rain. We're both dope sick, been up for days. She's like falling asleep, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like just so delusional. And I try to keep this delusion because I think it's important, right? And
Hmm.
I'm like, yo, check it out. I figured it out. And she's like, what? And I'm like, so there's an equal opposite to everything, right? And she's like looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, so that would mean that there's got to be an equal opposite to this, and we're gonna have to experience it, and that's gonna be sick because this is fucked, right? And like I truly
Hmm.
believe that in that moment. I don't know why, man, but I truly believe
But you're
that.
living it now.
I
This is your
know.
total
I
opposite,
know, it's
bro.
crazy,
You
man. And
know?
yeah, and so now I tell that story and she just smiles because she was there for it, right? And now she gets to see the other side, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's been there
Yeah.
through all of it, bro. All of it,
I just
man.
got crazy goosebumps after that when you said that. That's awesome though,
It's
man.
wild,
You know,
man.
it's like a future. You're telling the future, man,
Yeah,
without even knowing it, man. You know,
manifested it,
and like,
bro.
yeah, brother. And you know what? I'll have to say this: in life, there's always a yin and yang.
Mhm.
You know, there's always a positive and negative. You know, and it's true. And like, for instance, for me, and I say this all the time, is when my fiance passed away. Right, it was one of the most horrible days in my life, if
Mhm.
not the most, and definitely a negative. But the positive out of it is I've helped multiple men. I have this podcast now in 67 countries, thanks to everybody listening. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate. I see all you guys in all these countries. It means the world to me, and it means the world to all these other men out there, because it helps with the algorithm to push it to people that need to hear it.
Mhm.
And this was my positive out of my negative, and you had your negative, and now you're at your positive, man. So I just want to say there's always a yin and yang to everything in this world.
Yeah,
My dog
100%.
is going crazy underneath me. But yeah,
No
so
worries.
yeah, man, it's just it's wild, the journey that you took, and that you were pretty much wanting to die. You're looking to die, and now here you're thriving. And I want to get into like the business that you started here.
Yeah.
You're helping people.
Yeah, so it's cool too. So like so go through that whole process, leading up until the fire, even just before the fire, I was like, going to work and like doing the thing and paying the bills and, building our life with our family and getting our kids the things they needed and like, really growing in my recovery and being a productive member of society. But I just felt like empty inside. You know what I mean? Not like hopeless empty, but like I wasn't fulfilling my destiny empty. Right. And like I'm really,
Yeah.
really connected to that like abundance and that higher power and that unlimitedness, you know what I mean? And I felt like I wasn't living to my full potential, and that grinds me, man. I'm like, if I'm not showing up as best as I could, then that's a problem, right? And so I was always looking for like, what's my thing? Like, where am I going to go? How am I going to change the world? How am I going to impact in a positive way? And how am I going to, make good money doing that? Because, you need to pay the bills. And so like, I could do this course or do that course or whatever. And then my girlfriend's always like, well, you love fitness. It's always been a part of your journey. Like, why don't you think about becoming a fitness coach? And I'm like, yeah, like I love that. And I would love to do that. However, like the process to actually get somewhere where you can financially take care of the kids and the family would be so ridiculous because like I'd have to work underneath of somebody and like learn and like you get minimum wage forever, right? And I'm like, that's just not gonna work. And then she's like, well, my coach, she was getting trained by a girl named Kirsten Mark. And she's like, my coach, her husband teaches personal trainers how to build an online business and train people online for people all over the world.
Hell
And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. And then I'm like, okay, like there's potential there, right? Because now you can help people all over the world, So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And this is crazy, dude. This took a lot, man, because so right when she tells me this, then the fire happens and I'm finishing my course, right? So I finished my course and I'm like, okay, sick. Now I'm certified and I can do this. And what's that? So I'm like, I finished my course and I'm like, hey, the next step I know for sure is to like get involved with this Brian Mark guy, right? Because he's doing the thing and I'm watching his content and I'm going to some of his live videos and I'm feeling connected to his energy, and his energy is abundance and love and like show up and give value for free and like all this shit. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like it's just so insane. It's aligned so much so with my soul that it wouldn't make sense for it not to be the thing, And so
Yeah.
I like lean into it. And so I'm on the live with him and I'm like, bro, like if I only have enough money to join your course or to go to your live event that's coming up, what would you say I should do? And then he like went to my page, looked at who I was. He was like, I would say go to the live event for sure. And so I'm like, all right, 6. And then boom, I just jumped on it, man, because I'm like, I'm really feeling aligned with my higher power because I didn't make the decision. My partner pushed me and my supports pushed me to go all in on this plan of fitness coaching, right? So I knew it wasn't just my will. I knew it was higher power's will. So I just did it. And I jump in. I go to this live event, dude, and it absolutely changed my life. I was sitting in this room surrounded by people that are coaches from all over the world, and they're changing thousands of lives. And like seeing these guys go on stage and talk about their mission, talk about their purpose, how it's like impact over income, and our whole goal is to change the world. I'm like, dude, like this is where I want to be, right? And like they're like the amount of money that you make, which a lot of them are making a ridiculous amount of money, is a direct reflection of how many people you are helping. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like that speaks to my soul, right? Like I want to make money, of course, everyone does, but I also want to have an impact and like do something that matters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I'm like finally feeling like I'm in the place, right? So like the first time I felt like I'm in the place where I belong is when I met the fellowship and I joined the program and I started working the steps in my life. Then I get to this next level, and like my Facebook community is the next level legends because I'm always trying to help somebody hit their next level because I continuously see the next level in my life. That's the life is just that, right? Growing and progressing and moving
Yeah.
forward. And so I'm like at this place where I'm like, oh my God, like this is my next level. This is where higher power wants me to be. And at the end of that event, so before the end of the event, I left and my girlfriend was gone for the weekend. I called her crying. I literally called her crying, and I'm like, thank you so much for pushing me and believing in me when I didn't believe in myself, because like I actually finally believe I'm in the exact place I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm going to make an impact. This is how I'm going to change the world. And it was like I was crying on the phone. She was just like, yeah, I knew you would, blah blah, right? Just like so confident in me, and like that's such a gift. And
So
then,
powerful, man.
right, dude,
So powerful. I know,
crazy.
like, you have no idea. My body is like like shivering of like just goosebumps and
Bro,
everything
it's
right now.
so
I could
cool.
just feel it through the fucking camera right now. You know what I mean? So
It gets
powerful, brother.
better too, man. It gets so much better. And like this is, remember, this is after our house fire and we just lost everything. And like I'm investing money, like big chunks of money into going to these events and all this stuff, right? And so at the end of the event, this is crazy. My brother had gave me some money since the fire so that we could get furniture and whatever else we needed. And this is crazy too. So I got a bunch of furniture from an old, like a hotel that was renovating for dirt cheap. So I furnished my whole house for next to nothing. And then we had this chunk of money chilling, right? And I'm like, that's for safety, just in case, right? Because after having that fire, like I had $148 in my bank account, man, when our house burned down. And I'm
Yeah,
like, how am I going to feed the kids, you know? And so having
yeah,
that chunk of money, we had 5 grand. I'm like, I'm saving that, so like we're safe, right? And
yeah.
so that is all we had, dude. And I go to that live event, and at the end of the live event, there was an opportunity to join the program that I wanted to join, and it was like 4,999 or something at the time. It was like pennies on the dollar of what I had. And I'm like, man, and I know from my journey that every time I had to hit a next level or wanted to hit that next level, it took a leap. Like it took real
Mhm,
faith. And real faith is doing something that's terrifying, right? Something that doesn't
mhm.
necessarily make sense, something that is scary. That is real faith. That's what takes faith. And so I knew at that moment, I'm like, man, like if it was just me and I didn't have the kids and my partner to worry about, like I would jump immediately. But if
Yeah.
do what you should do, and I call my partner and I'm like, hey, listen, this is where we're at. I'm like, I have an opportunity to do the thing that you've been talking about and you want me to do, but it's going to take everything we have. And she's like, do it. She didn't question it, bro. Didn't even question it. She just said, fucking do it
Crazy, man.
and let's go, right? And so I did. I signed up, and from and I didn't even have a client. I've never had a client at this point, never trained anyone as a professional at this point. And so that was like the start of my journey as a fitness coach. No idea what I'm doing. Terrified. Like, let's go all in. And it was just basically, I'm going to do this on the side until like it picks up, and then, hopefully I can go all in full time, right? And so I go through that whole process, and we're working on it, we're building, and I'm going to work. I remember I was going to work and I was listening to podcasts and listening to motivational speakers, even that intro that you had, right? I'm hearing that,
Mhm,
right? And like, I swear to God, dude, for like 7 days straight, everything I listened to was talking about taking the leap of faith, jumping, going
mhm.
all in, burning your bridges, committing, don't have a backup plan. All that shit's going through my head every single day. And I got to a point where I'm like, hey, man, like higher power is screaming at me to go all in on this thing. And like, I'm not listening, right? Like it's been 7 days of me going against the grain, and I'm like, because it's scary. I'm like, at this point, it was like I needed to take the leap, quit my job, and go all in before I could even afford to pay my bills, and like just jump and go all in and have faith that it's gonna work out, right? And like that's not easy to do, man. I got 3 kids and
Fuck
my
no,
partner, and we
man.
just got our house after the fire. Like it was a whole process, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is crazy, dude. I call my girlfriend again, and I'm on, I'm on the phone. I'm like, hey, so like this is what's going on. I'm like, for the last 7 days, everything has been screaming at me to quit my job and go all in. And I think if I don't do it, I'm not listening to God, and I'm going against God's will. And she's like, again, she's like, do it. Just make sure you work hard. That's what she said to me. And I'm like, what,
Mhm.
man? Like, I just feel, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel so grateful that somebody's in my life that like fully, undoubtedly believes in me. And it's not just her either, man. It's like my kids believe in me, my dad, my family members, this massive community that continues to push me forward and encourage me, man. Like
Yeah, can I stop you there, man?
yeah,
Just
bro, yeah,
meeting
yeah.
you, like we talked before, and then talking here, man. Just the way you even hold yourself, like I fucking believe in you, man. I know you're doing it now, but I mean,
Thanks,
like
bro.
I believe in you, brother. I just want you to know that, like
Thanks,
the way
man.
you hold yourself, and like the struggle that you've been through, man. Like I got much respect for you, man, and my heart goes out for you and your family. Like one love, man. I just want to say that
Appreciate it,
one
bro.
love, brother.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and I feel like it's such an honor, bro, because like when I take a step forward, anybody who's behind me a little bit can see that and know that like you can do it too. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like
man.
every step, every leap of faith that I've taken, like I carry it on my shoulders that it's not just about me, man. It's not about just my family. It's not about just about money. It's about the impact and like the legacy I'm leaving behind, right? And like my family alone, like my kids see what I do, man. They hear what I say, but they
Mhm.
see what I do, and like they will
Yeah.
instinctually follow me even by accident. You know what I mean? So like I
Yeah.
want to make my
Yeah.
footsteps as deep as possible and like face as much fear as possible, right? So that they can see me do that and hopefully they, do that too,
You're
right?
imprinting.
Yeah, man.
You're imprinting is what
And
it
then like
is. Yeah,
everybody else
man.
too, man. It's like I've met so many amazing people that have struggled such significant pain, man. And like the solution is connection, right? Genuine, authentic connection. And I really want to share this, and I share it at meetings all the time. Like the biggest thing is honesty and authenticity for me, because my whole life I was trying to be something I wasn't, trying to be somebody I wasn't because I didn't like
Mhm.
who I was, right? And so anytime anybody tried to love me, I couldn't receive it, right? Because I wasn't who I really am. And so I'm like, unconsciously, I'm like, even though you say you love me, you don't actually know me. And so I was preventing myself from ever actually experiencing love because I was too afraid to be me.
Self-sabotaging.
Right? Yeah. And so like now it's like I need to be authentic, genuine, and honest and upfront. Not with everybody. I do usually because that's just who I am. I'm just like
Yeah.
this is what you get, right? But like I
Yep.
need to be honest, authentic, and open with somebody, especially if I'm an addict and I want to stay clean. Like my life
Yeah.
depends on that shit, man. And like if I want to have any sort of like hope and joy and peace in my life, like it's gonna require connection, right? We need
Yeah.
relationships and those get built on trust. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
like if I can't trust me because I know I'm being shady and I'm not telling you the full truth, I can't trust you either. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
I'm limiting my capacity for connection and love just by living and acting in those behaviors. You know what I mean?
It's loving yourself, right?
Yeah,
Loving
bro.
yourself. And I say this too, is like a little method to learn how to love yourself, and it's kind of cool, is buy a plant and keep that plant alive for at least a year to 2 years.
Yeah.
Because that plant is not like a dog or an animal that it's not going to come over, hey, feed me,
Right, right, right. Yeah.
feed me. You know what I mean? You actually have to consciously say, hey, I got to go feed this plant or water, whatever, right? And you're giving, that's love, you know what I mean, that's love. So if, and they say if you can keep a plant alive for about a year to 2 years, you're starting to love yourself because
Correct.
you're giving love. And you can, and it's a little thing. I think a counselor told me that a long time ago when it was well, I'm still in counseling. I do counseling every 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do it till the rest of I think everybody in this life needs counseling, man. It's changed my life. And I'll tell you straight up, I'm vulnerable. I talk shit all the time about like what happens in my life. I'm not fucking perfect, man.
Mhm.
I have depression. I have functioning depression because I have to get up every day. I have a little girl, and I'll be honest with you, man. Like if she wasn't in my life, I would have had a bullet in my head. And that's the truth. I would have. But
Yeah.
she saved my life, man. She really saved my life. And it's hard. It's hard, but you like you and everybody else that I've had on, you got to keep on going. You got to
Mhm.
keep on going, and like I said, like you can kneel but don't stay down, and that's what you did. You kept on pushing, man, and look at your life now. This
That's
just
crazy.
goes to show, you know what I mean? It just goes to show. And it's kind of crazy. Like I'm 41 right now. I've been in construction for pretty much a large portion of my life, and I said, fuck it.
Mhm.
I'm done. I don't want to do construction anymore. I want to help people, and I know grief. Like, fuck, do I know grief? My buddy even just passed away the other day. Like, I've dealt with over 40 people definitely in my life that were close to me. I know grief good. So I'm on my way of becoming a life coach for grief, man.
Yeah.
And how you're saying legacy, it's called the legacy method.
I love it, dude. That's
Yep.
so funny.
And it's three pillars with the phoenix rising above the three pillars, man. So,
Sick.
but I will have to say I was super sick, been really sick for the last 2 weeks, like really sick, almost like COVID style. And it's really hit my mental health a bit.
Yeah.
So I stopped, like I pushed back, but I think after this conversation, man, you've kind of inspired me. So I just want to say thank you, brother. So I gotta get that ball rolling again, man. And it's hard, man. I mean, it's hard being a single parent, and just trying to do it all on your own with no help. Like my mom, she's 80. It was just her birthday. She's 80, 82 years old now. So like, there's no way, she can't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
help. You know what I mean? So it's hard, man. But I just want to say thank you, man, for inspiring me. You really did inspire me today with this, man. So I just want to put out there. I
I love it.
appreciate that, man.
I love that,
So
bro. That's what I'm here for.
thank you. Yeah,
That's what I'm
man.
here
So
for.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to kind of, talk a little bit about that. But yeah, so go on about, so you got this journey. So now you talk to your, is it wife, right? Or your partner, or your wife? Partner. And
soon to be.
yeah, awesome. Well, she pushed you, right? So she's like, yeah, let's go do it. So now at that moment in your life, what was it like?
So
Was
yeah,
it
so at
scary
that,
to just take that step?
bro, oh my God, I think that was like I talk about this a lot, right? And I talk about taking the leap and leaning in. My whole motto is lean in, right? Lean in, lean in. You'll hear me
Yeah.
say it on my videos and my reels all the time. We got to lean into discomfort. We got to lean into fear. We got to lean into pain. And like from the start of the time that I got clean, I knew that my whole life, my whole addiction, I was running from fear, man. Anything that was uncomfortable and painful and upsetting, I would turn away from it. And so I'm like, I am gonna try never to do that again, and I'm gonna lean directly into fear the second that I notice it. We call it fucking fear in the face, and we just lean right into
Love
it,
it.
right? And
Then you got to put that on a shirt, bro. You
yeah,
got to
I
put
know,
that
I
on
know,
a
I know,
shirt,
I know.
man.
We talked about it's good. And yeah, so like leaning directly in, right? And so it's like I just continue to try to do that now. You know what I mean? And when I took that leap initially, it was like I'm like, oh man, I knew I'm like having a conscious conversation with myself, like, man, like I got to do this. I talk about it all the time. This is the next thing for me to face because it doesn't go away. There's not okay, I faced my fear and then there's no more fears ever. It's like no, now I'm able to face bigger, deeper fears, and like that shit will get presented to me when I'm ready, and I got to be ready to take the leap always, right? Because there's opportunity that is floating around me, and like if I'm not ready, it'll just pass me by, which it did my whole life.
Yeah.
And so I got to this point, and it was like I need to jump, and so I did, man. I just did it, and I continue to do that as much as I can because I know, like, the faster I face something, the faster I can get through it, right? And getting through it
Yeah.
is me growing to become a better person, a better individual, a better dad, a better partner, a better friend. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's like I
Yeah.
just try to jump, man, as best as I can. And it was
And
terrifying.
better person to yourself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the most important. At the end of the day, is the most important, because if you're not better, then how are you going to take care of anybody else around you
Right.
or help anybody
Right.
around you?
And I think I'm glad you brought that up because I think one of the biggest things for me, like I am hard on myself, and I'm sure you can relate. A lot of us are very,
Oh
very
yeah.
hard on
Oh
ourselves, right? And so like self-respect doesn't come easy, man. Self-respect is really
yeah.
hard earned in my world, right? And so it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if I notice that I could be pushing harder, but I chose not to, if I notice that I lean out, ooh, that hits the self-respect real hard, man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second I start to not respect myself, my behavior starts to reflect that, and then I'm not doing the
Yeah.
things that are conducive to my growth, not doing the things that are conducive to my health, right? And then I go backwards really quickly, and before you know it, like I'll end up in a massive depression where I'm like, what's
Mhm.
the point? Why am I even here? And it's
Yeah.
like I've been clean and like, bro, it's crazy. I have everything I could have ever imagined and dreamed of in my life today. And then I'll get to those places sometimes because I forget. I'll get to those places sometimes where I'm like empty still. And then it's hard for me to reach out because I'm shaming myself, right? Because I'm telling myself,
Mm-hmm.
how dare you
Mm-hmm.
be ungrateful for what you have? You have everything you've ever dreamed of, right? And then I'm like mad at myself for not being grateful in those moments, right? And I think part of that is mental health. Like I was diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder, and I've been unmedicated this whole time because I really wanted to see if I could like fix it myself, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know, struggle harder than
Yeah.
I needed
Yeah.
to, I guess. And so I'm just now going through the process of like seeing the doctor and like testing and trying out different medications for that. So like this is the next level of my journey. And another thing, I think every next level that I've had has taken some sort of surrender, right? And like I
Mm-hmm.
hold on to control and I'm afraid, and I think most of us do. And so the one of the biggest things for me is also letting go, right? Because I want to like weasel my way over here. I want to do this
Mm-hmm.
my way, and it's like, bro, my way keeps me sick. My way keeps me where I
Yeah.
am because my brain just wants to survive, and survival is comfort in its perspective.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
And
mean?
that's what you've known, like, most of your life. Like, that's like me, and my counselor says that too, is like I'm always in survival mode
Right.
because my whole life I've just been surviving, right?
Right.
Through all the bullshit. And she's trying to tell me, like, this person that's like in the survivor mode, like the person inside of you, he's driving the bus.
Hmm.
And you got to tell him, like, yo,
Yeah.
I want to drive the bus now. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not your time to drive the bus. And like, what sucks about it too, though, is like you're always tired, man. And for me,
Yeah,
anyways, I
bro.
felt like I was always tired because you're battling yourself
Yeah.
all the time in your head, and that's the worst conversation you can have, is the one with yourself all the time. Like, can be one of the worst
Hmm.
conversations. because then you put yourself down, and like you were saying, right? Then you shame yourself, and you can just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And you need like you said, the community to, and that's when you have to reach out for help, in the
Yeah.
community, or your loved ones or someone, right, to help you.
Yeah.
And I mean, or a counselor to help you pull out of that, because it sucks doing it alone, man. And no one should do it alone. No one,
No.
you don't know. You need the community to help, man. And like, if you're struggling out there and you're listening to this, shoot me an email, man. Like, I'll do whatever I can to help you. I have like all resources. Doesn't matter what country you're in, I can get you the resources, no problem. I've done it multiple times. So please, like, if you're hurting out there, just reach out to me at rawmindspodcast@gmail.com, and I will do everything in my power to help you. I promise you that. I've done it multiple times, and I'm totally I want to help. I always want to help. I'm pay it forward, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Double paying it
100%.
forward. And it's from my mom, man. My mom's taught me. She's a beautiful woman. I'm not even saying that just because she's my mom. She just truly is one of those beautiful people that, will give you the shirt off your back, or her
Yeah.
off her back. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she taught me, man, and to help people. We're all human beings. That it doesn't matter what kind of color you are, religion, whatever. It's the human fucking race.
Right. I
You know
know.
what I mean? It's
Yeah,
the
I know,
human
bro.
fucking race,
Oh, it's crazy.
and I'm all for the human race, and I'm all about helping each other, man. So if you need the help, please reach out to me. I just want to put that little segue thing in there,
Yeah, I love
or
it. I
whatever
love
it's
it.
called.
That's what I'm about. My dad's like that too, bro. I grew up watching him, right? And he'd do the same thing, man. He would stop on the side of the road. People stranded, he's stopping. He sees anyone
Yeah,
stranded on the side of the road, he is stopping for sure, you know?
yeah,
And like that's just
yeah,
how he's always been, man. He's always fixing stuff for people for free and just trying to help people out, man. And it's like
yeah.
that. I think like, adding value, bro. He's just always trying to add value. My dad does it a little backwards though. He doesn't fill his own cup, right? You know what I mean? So I learned what
Mm-hmm.
not to do and what to do. And it's like I gotta fill my cup
Mm-hmm.
first and then fill other
And
people's
poor,
cups.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And so like that's why also I didn't mention, so like I specialize in working with addicts in recovery because I'm an addict in recovery, right? And so it's like I learned to help myself first, take care of myself, learn these ways
mm-hmm.
to live, and then find a way to implement that into the next level, which is obviously, health and fitness are connected with the mind, the body, and the
Yeah,
spirit, right? So like I believe in, for me to be fully aligned with God's will, like I need to show up on all these levels. I don't need to be perfect ever, but I need to
yeah,
try, right? I
yeah,
need to seek perfection and then be okay that I'll never reach that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But that's the journey, man. And so like that's what I mean too, like that self-respect I talked about. Like I just can't respect myself if I see myself slacking. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's like it's a gift and a curse. First, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because like sometimes I'm a
Oh
little
yeah,
extra hard on
100%.
myself, but also that's the thing that's got me to where I am. So it's like,
It's your push. That's what
yeah,
pushes you
man.
too. I mean, not necessarily. I don't want to say for you it pushes you, but a lot of, like, some people too, it may not. It might
Mhm.
drive them deeper.
Well, it
You know
does
what I
that to
mean?
me too, right? Sometimes it's like the
Yeah,
thing that's like helping me hit the gas, but other times it's the thing that's like bashing me in the head, pushing me down,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And so like
yeah.
that's where
I've been there
balance comes
multiple
in. Yeah,
times,
you get
man.
it, bro. You get
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like some days I'll be honest with you. Some days it's really hard for me to get out of the bed. It's hard for me to even go brush my teeth or have a shower. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because my depression, it hits me hard some days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I say, okay, if I'm really depressed today and it's really hard, it's a hard day for me. I'm gonna do at least one thing today.
Hmm.
One thing, and usually it's make my bed, or like just something. Even have a shower, brush my teeth. But that's one goal that I did. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? It doesn't. I don't have to be able to like run a marathon, fucking jump this high, clean my house, do all that. One goal, and that's all that matters. And then the next goal, I mean, the next day, make it two goals, and then three goals, until I'm kind of back to myself again. And those are just little tips that I do. But yeah, I mean, I know how it is, because some days I don't even want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy ride so far, man.
So now, how your business? Like, how is it? Like, you just
So I am
killing it
still,
now?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm still in the early stages of it. So it's been about a year since it first started, maybe like 5, 6 months since I jumped and went full in. I could be off on time frame a little bit, but so it's crazy because in that time I have built it from nothing all the way until making basically the same amount I've ever made at any other job. So it's like I can pay my bills and like I'm at the place where
Yeah.
it's like I'm getting by, right? I am
Right.
looking obviously to increase my clientele and get to a place where it's like because I want to reinvest. I want to continuously reinvest into my education.
Yeah.
And, like I work a lot with women, and there's this course I want to take that, specializes in talking about how to train women properly, pre and postpartum. So it's like before and after birth. And like, that's a big deal, right? And like, I want
Yeah.
to continue to
Huge.
reinvest into my education and grow. And I can't do that obviously until it like builds. But right now it's like I want to be so grateful for where I am, because this was the dream. This was the dream added to the dream after I got the dream of being clean, and after I got the dream of having my own home, and like having a car, and like paying the bills, and like, you know what I mean, getting a dirt bike, dude. I got all my kids have their own dirt bikes, and we go dirt biking and camping every year. The dream on top of
Awesome.
the dream on top of the dream became, imagine if I could make money in my own business doing something I love and pay my bills.
Mhm.
And like, we're there.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Within a year,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
So that's like, wow. It's crazy when I sit back and look at it, and it's like I can really be so grateful, but I can get caught up in the day-to-day grind of trying to like expand and
Mhm.
grow, and how do I be a better coach, and how do I give more value, and how do I make better content, and all these different hats I'm trying to wear, right? But like, realistically,
Yeah.
when I step back for a second, it's like, dude, I came from shooting up puddle water to fucking running my own business and changing the lives of other
Yeah.
addicts. You know what I mean? Being at home
Yeah,
with my
man.
kids every single night, you know?
I mean, like, I'm so proud of you for that, man.
Yeah,
You know what
thanks,
I mean?
bro.
It's amazing. That's amazing step, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing step. You know, like what you were, like you said. So what, 14 years ago? I guess you could say about 14, 16 years ago,
yeah.
right? And oh, yeah, because yeah,
It would have been like, yeah, yeah,
18, 17, 18, maybe something.
yeah,
Anyways, around that, whatever. And where you are, and now look at you, man, and you're thriving. It's just amazing, man. Like, wow. That's all I
yeah.
have to say, man.
I
I'm proud
think
of
I
you,
think
brother.
I'm so grateful too, because like, growing up, man, I always wanted to be a leader. You know what I mean? And I was like
Yeah.
such like not a leader growing up, man. It was like, and again, I think it like really connected to my soul. Like, I didn't like the negative part of it, where I was like, I didn't believe I could be what I wanted to be, right? And it like took all this shit, man, to go through and like fight and battle, and like get clean and then fall, and then get clean and then fall, and then get clean and then fall, and like just never stopping, like never fucking giving up. And like the last time I relapsed before I got clean this time, like I had almost a year clean, man. And like my kid was about to be back in my life, everything was great, and I threw it all away again. And at that point, dude, I literally like in my brain accepted like I was gonna die an addict, and like that was just how it was gonna happen, right? And I remember at one point I was crying in the laundry room, and my girlfriend came in there and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I like, this is where I was at. Like, honestly, I said, "I'm a fucking loser because I don't have the balls to kill myself, because my kids would be better off going to a funeral once and getting over it than watching me fall over and over and over and over again." And that's literally what I
Wow.
believed, right? And I was like, I was ashamed that I couldn't end my own life to give them the freedom from watching me fall and use as an addict my whole life. You know what I mean? And thank
Yeah.
God that I wasn't,
Yeah.
right? Thank God that I got
Yeah.
through that, and I just, even though I was that low and wanted to quit that bad, I didn't fucking quit. Do you know what I mean? I kept
Good.
pushing forward somehow, some way, and then I ended up back in the rooms, right? Ended up back with a sponsor, writing the 12 steps, and like moving forward. And like this time when I got clean again, I knew exactly what I needed to do, because I had had some
Yeah.
clean time, and I worked with a sponsor, and I seen the program working in my life. I seen me becoming a productive member of society, right? I seen myself having some sort of positive impact on the people around me, my kids, right? So I knew exactly what to do. And when I came back this time, bro, I was like, I remember I was sitting on Detox's doorstep. My hand was shattered. My collarbone was broken. My head just got caved in with a drill. I'm covered in blood. I'm dope sick. It's piss and rain. And I'm sitting there like, how the fuck did I end up here again? Right. And then it was like, all right, like this is it, right? Like this is the end of the line. Either I'm going to just completely give up and die, or I'm going to fight for my life. Right. And it was like, dude, in that moment I chose, I'm like, I'm going to give it my all. I will fucking die trying this time,
Mhm.
but I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do everything I need to do. I'm going to shut up and listen. I'm going to follow suggestions from people that done it before me and are staying clean. And I'm just going to listen, whether I believe it, whether I feel like it's working or not. I'm just going to do the thing. Right. And so I did that, bro. I just jumped right in head first. Here's my honest, authentic story. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm thinking, like just fully transparent from the start. And it's like, that's what it takes, man, because like there's a part of the process, step 5, and it's like where we share our shit, right, with somebody.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was going to do that with my sponsor, and I read the shit that I wrote down, but there's some stuff I didn't put on that list, bro, that I was ashamed of. We went for a walk, and I blah blah. I told him, and he's like, all right. He's like, are you sure that's it? Because he knew that I was hiding some shit, right? And I'm like, oh, and I knew, man, I knew if I didn't tell him I was going to use again. And I didn't. I was afraid. And I was like, yep, that's it. And then he's like, okay, bro. He's like, go back to your room, pray about it, ask God to reveal anything you might have missed, and then let me know. And so I did that. The next night, I wrote a list. I wrote the list of the shit that I've never told anybody, all the shit that made me weird, awkward, different, bad, all that shit. I wrote the list. And so the next night, we're walking to a meeting. I'm like, hey, bro, I got some shit to tell you that wasn't on that list. And he's like, I know. Right. And so I was just like, and I just like word vomited all this shit on this list to him, and then like just waited for his response that I'm a shameful piece of shit and like unlovable, right? Because that's what I felt like hearing it all these years. And he's like, bro, he's like, that's I've done lots of these steps, and like most men have most of those on their list. And it was like
Yeah.
crazy because it was like the first time that I wasn't alone in that weird shit, right? I wasn't alone in that sickness that was in my head, made me different, but also that's I showed somebody all of me, bro, and they loved me still, right? And so I was
Yeah.
like, shit, man,
Wow.
like,
Powerful,
yeah,
man.
man, because like that's the thing. And so like that's why all the way through now it's like honesty, transparency, and authenticity is the thing because it's like I have to give people a chance to love me or not, right? But I have to give
Yeah.
them that chance because if I don't, then I'm alone, bro. Even if I'm surrounded by
Yeah.
people, I'm alone because I didn't let anybody see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's
I know.
so important.
Trust me, I know how you are, man. You could be in a room with a million people and
Yeah.
still feel alone.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So that's amazing. Like, so what happened after that, man? Like, you went for the walk. You like this is still while you're doing your coaching, like while you're taking
So
this.
this is when I was in recovery. So I hadn't started my business. I hadn't even got
Okay.
my kids back yet. So I'm literally in a treatment center in Vancouver, like literally across the street from Maine and Hastings, like in the thick of
Yeah.
it, man, getting clean up
Yeah.
there. And so I'm like right in the midst of all the hellhole. And part of the program was like feeding the homeless and like supporting them and like doing that. So that was cool. And
The pay it forward, kind of like a
yeah,
pay it
bro.
forward thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I stayed there and like I started going to the gym really early as soon as I got my cast off from my hand being shattered. And I remember when they took it off, bro, I cried. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be fucked forever. My hand was all skinny and weird and warped and stuff. And so like I had to
Yeah.
rebuild from that, man. I couldn't even grip anything.
Oh man.
And then I'm like, I'm a few weeks, maybe a month clean, just got my cast off, and then a warrant for my arrest comes out. And I'm like, dude, like I'm trying so hard right now.
Wow.
And my girlfriend calls me and tells me that, and she's like, don't freak out, but I gotta tell you something. And so then I ended up turning myself in, and I had to go and stay in North Fraser for a little bit, waiting to see a judge. Still, I got out, went back to treatment. I didn't screw around or anything. And then yeah, man, I just continued to work with the counselors there, work with my sponsor, write the steps. I stayed there and I kept calling a second stage facility in Kelowna that I had went to previously. And so the funny thing is I went to that treatment out there because the two treatments that I went to before in Kelowna said I couldn't go back there because I'd been there so many times and never stayed clean and just caused shit. So they're like, no, you need to try
Mhm.
something else. And I remember calling to this second stage. I'm like, hey man, like I need to come home. All right. I've been clean X amount of months. I think I was like 7, 8 months at this point. And like I don't want to just come home. I want to go through a facility that can keep me safe, right? And so he
Yeah.
took it back
Yeah.
to the
You don't
board
want
of
to relapse.
directors. Yeah, and like they all were like, "No, Mike is not coming here again, man." And, like all of them were against it. And the head guy, Jamie, he kept shooting for me, man. He's like, "I don't know, something's different." I kept calling every day, like, "Hey, man, like I really want to come back there. I'm really doing it this time, right?" And he gave me a chance, man. They let me come back, and I came back at 8 months clean. And this is crazy too, man. So I come back, and again, I talk about that facing the fear head on, right? So my girlfriend at the time had already built some recovery and some community and was starting this boxing training that was provided for free because we were both in treatment centers that we could go to this place and work out and have a good healthy place to go for free. They were letting us come there. And then the very first day I go there, I'm like, I knew about this charity fight that was going to happen, but I'm like, I'm not fighting people. I don't want to do anything. I don't want nothing to do with that because I was insecure and I'm like, I don't want to do that, right? And so the first
Yeah.
day I go there, I'm like, I'm just gonna work out and do cardio because I could use some cardio. And I get there and it's the sign up for the fight. And it was like higher powers like, dude, you gotta face your shit, man. And it was like another
Mhm.
opportunity to face the fear. And it was like it reminded me of the time that I faced the fear and told my sponsor everything. And I was like, dude, if I can do that, I can do this. Right. And I need to face it head on. So I signed up and then we ended up training for 3 months, no prior boxing training ever. And then we raised money for the two treatments that we were in and youth elevation program here in Kelowna that like helps youth go biking and snowboarding and all sorts of stuff, which I went through
Awesome.
when I was a kid. And so we're now raising money for them while I'm in recovery, which was cool.
Amazing,
Yeah,
man.
full circle,
Yeah.
right? And then, yeah, so 3 months later, we fought in front of like 600 people. It was this crazy huge event, raised a bunch of money, faced my fear, like walking out into the ring with like all my recovery people supporting me. My kids were
Did you
in
have
the
a
crowd.
song? Did
Yeah, dude.
Did you have a song walkout?
Yeah, it
What
was
was it?
Roy Jones Can't Be Touched.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Wicked, man.
Yeah, and so yeah, we went out there and it was cool too because right before we went out, like the guy that I trained with, it was 3 months of training with him, so we were like friends, bro. And we're like standing backstage, like shadow boxing, and I'm like, hey man, let's go out there and just give him a show. No, no hate, no nothing. Let's just go hard. And he's like, all right, deal. And so when we went out there, bro, we were like, we're friends, but we're gonna like beat the dog shit out of each other, give everyone
Yeah.
a show, and
Give a
just go
good
hard.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And it was like, dude, it was the coolest thing ever. So we do the fight, whatever. My shoulder got dislocated in the third round, and like I couldn't feel my arm. I'm getting pelted, and then the judge is like, "Hey, like, can you continue?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man. My arm, I can't feel it." And then it like popped, and I could feel it again. And I'm like, "We're good." And so we finished the fight. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. We finished the fight, and like everyone went crazy. We were the first male fight of the night. Everyone went crazy. But here's the coolest part. After that, after the fight ended, me and him went and hugged each other. But it wasn't just like, hey, good job. It was like, bro, it's like so proud of you fucking out.
Yeah.
You could tell that it
Yeah.
was like nothing
Love,
but love,
pure
bro.
love
Yeah.
hug.
The
Yeah.
crowd went fucking crazy, dude. Like it was so cool, man. One of like
You
the
know, and that's
highlights.
wicked. You know, like you're showing true sportsmanship too.
Yeah,
You know
dude.
what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, like you can go in there and you're going there to do a job, is what it is.
Yeah.
You're going there to do your job. You know, and it's boxing. You're putting on a good show and still showing love at the end of the day, even though you got punched in the head a couple times. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was super cool.
Good for you
Great
guys,
moment.
man.
Yeah, dude. And then it's funny because then after that, so we raised money for the same program that I went through. I was one of the first people to ever go through that elevation program in Kelowna, right? And then I came back clean, and then I'm raising money for them. And then my kids ended up going through their program, right? And then after that, they asked me to do a documentary, like film a documentary with them about my experience in the program. And then I got to put one of my
I seen
coaching,
that.
yeah, I got to do one of my
I
coaching
think,
calls for
yeah,
an auction for them and raise money for them again. So it was like,
that's awesome,
yeah,
man.
it's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
because I just want to say thank you, Bree. Give her a shout out there
Yes.
for
Yeah.
hooking up. And she sent me that I think a couple clips of the documentary,
So-
right, where you guys are in the gym and boxing.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
the one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I watched a little bit of it and because originally I thought you were the other guy, and
The
then
guy that was
after at the
doing the coaching. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, originally I thought, right? Because Bree's like, oh yeah, he's doing blah blah blah. Because that's who was like on the documentary first, but then
Right.
after I saw you after, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
funny.
good for you guys, man. I'm so proud of what you're doing for the community,
Yeah,
man.
thanks,
That's
bro.
it's pretty amazing, man. So what do you have cooking? You got anything cooking right now that's you're excited about
Well, I
that
mean,
you want to share?
just focusing on building this empire of this business, right? And it's like I've built a community on Facebook, the Next Level Legends, and it's climbing. I think it's like over 400 members right now, which is sick. That's in one year,
Good, man.
400 people joined, and it's like a place
Amazing.
where people can share and their struggles and their challenges and have that community. Because like I recognize community is so important. And so like here's a community of recovery when I go to the 12-step fellowship, and they align and they connect with my recovery challenges and struggles.
Mhm.
And then there's a community of fitness that they connect with my fitness challenges and struggles. And then there's a fitness recovery community that I've created that connects both of those things together, right? And it's like it's all
Beautiful, man.
interlocked, intertwined. And so it's like my job is to bring the steps and stages of recovery into fitness and align it, right? Because like I'll tell you, I got to a year clean, and like that was insane. Like that didn't seem possible until I did it. But then because that was my only focus, I honestly felt like, oh shit, like now what? Like what do I do now? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I didn't have like a next level or like that next step to look forward to, like you're talking about, or like something to progress
Yeah.
towards. And it was kind of a dangerous moment. And if you know the history, like a lot of people relapse after their year, right? And it's
Yeah.
like because that whole fucking now what thing happens, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like the bridge from I'm doing well and I made it to a year clean, and now I want to move forward in my life and continue this journey because it's like we have to practice the shit we learned there in everything. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
really have to implement that into my life, which is how I am where I am today. You know, and so like my main focus and my main goal right now is to continue my recovery journey and then grow this so like I have that crazy online presence. So like so many, like man, there's like other coaches have thousands of clients. It's crazy. And I couldn't imagine,
Yeah.
I can't imagine changing
Yeah, you
thousands of
can,
lives.
man.
I
Yeah,
can, right?
yeah, you
It's
can.
like,
Yeah.
you
Change
know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah, you can. You're
Yeah.
going to. Not that you
Yeah.
can imagine. You're
It's
going
inevitable.
to. You're
It's
going
inevitable.
to. Yeah.
That was my word. When
Yeah.
I went to that first live event, bro, I was like, I just knew like God was speaking directly to me. And it's like I knew no matter how hard it was, how many leaps of faith I had to take, how much grinding I had to do, how many knees I had to take down, I would get back up and I would make it happen. Do you know what I mean? Because I did
Yeah.
that in every other area. So I'm like, I know I can do this, right? And it's like I
Yeah.
just need to show up, especially, and I say this for everything, I need to show up, especially when it feels like it isn't working, because that's when most
Mhm.
people quit. And they quit right before the miracle happens, right? And so it's like the
Yeah.
most important thing is to do it when it feels like it isn't working.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what I
because you
mean?
never know. And you know what? You're going to have those days. Like I have them with my
Yeah, yeah.
podcast, and you probably have them too. It goes like this. Some days, like, some months I'm getting crazy emails or whatever it may be, like, guests. And then some months I don't get a guest at all, right? I mean, like email, but it doesn't matter. Or my views or whatever it is, or helping people, whatever, like you're not going to, it's not all going to be up here.
No,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like you're gonna have these low ones, and that's when it tests you.
right.
And that's when it shows. Like that's what it's saying. Like, are you still want to do this? Are
Yeah,
you
do you
ready
actually
to
want this?
commit? Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the moment. That's the defining moment.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's the defining moment when you really I can't even come up with the words, but like you just that's what's going to change you,
Mhm.
going through that, because you got to go through the hard times, man. You got to go
Yeah.
through hard times. Anybody that tells you that they're successful and hasn't gone through hard times is bullshit.
100%.
Everybody, that's where it stems from. You know what I mean? That's like you go through this pain to build this purpose, this beautiful, I call it from pain to power.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And that's what it is, man. And the grit, pure grit, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what teaches you grit,
Yeah. I
It's
think
just
like there's two significant times that will really determine who you are or really show who you are. And it's how you act when you have nothing and how you act when you have everything. Right. And so it's
100%.
like I've had nothing a lot. And it's like I am
Yeah.
now developing this life where it's like I literally have the potential to have everything I've ever wanted and then some, right? And it's like when my cup overflows, guess what it does, bro? It pours into all the people in my life. It pours into the community,
Definitely.
right? And so it's like, why would I not want to fill my cup, man? I want to fill my cup so that I can overflow into other people's lives.
Yeah.
You
I
know what I mean?
love that, man.
And it's like
I fucking love that,
it
bro.
takes that grind, man. It takes that grit. And like I've not had it easy, right? With this, even with my borderline personality disorder, man. Like I'm talking to one of my clients and she has it too. And she's like describing all the shit that I've been going through for the last more than 7 years, but the 7 years of my recovery, because I'm like, I don't want any medication, right? And so you've
Yeah.
been fucking raw dogging life with this mental illness, bro. She's like, what? She's like astonished that I've made it this far, right? So it's like I'm excited because there's always the next level, right? And my next level of
Yeah.
surrender is to like deal with the doctors and let them figure it out and just keep showing up for my recovery, being honest, being open, being authentic, and then showing up for my clients, right? And like that's the
Yeah.
other thing, bro. When I put myself in this environment of like I'm being a leader now, like I have to show up, right? Like I need to
Yeah.
continue to hit that next level because I'm leading
Yeah.
people, man. They need somewhere to follow. Do you know what I mean? So it's
And
like,
people, and they're counting on you, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you might be, and I'm not just saying you, but I mean just in general, like
yeah,
anybody that's, in this position, that might be the light in the day that they're
right.
looking forward to. You know what I mean? Like they could be having the most shittiest fucking day, they could be on the bridge of fucking ending it,
Yeah, dude.
but like that's the light, you know what I mean? So
Right.
in this you have to show up, man.
Yeah.
Like I've been sick and like almost puking, but I still show up. Like I'm still a little bit like podcast, It's like I have this. This is what I
Mhm.
meant to do, like for you. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
it's probably a little bit different for you because you're more probably one-on-one sometimes in person, so you don't want to be showing up sick. I get that. You know what I mean?
Everything I do is online, actually. I do
Oh,
everything
okay.
online. So
Then
yeah, so it's the same thing as you. It's like I gotta
yeah,
show up.
then you're
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, then you're okay, man. Yeah, you
yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's the beauty of it. Like you could be in a house coat, you know what I mean,
yeah,
and do whatever. I'm not saying, but I mean it's the beauty of it. And like for me doing my coaching, I'm not gonna be like these other coaches.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna be real, and like what you see with me is what you get. Like
yeah,
like straight up. You know what I mean? And that's how like I don't want to sugarcoat shit. You know what I mean? I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. I'll tell you, like, fuck yeah, life sucks, like, especially with death. Like, yeah, we're all gonna die, man. We're all gonna die. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you need to get over it. And not in, like, I won't say it like harsh like that, but it's true. Like, you have to get over it. You have to go through the feelings. You know, you can't run away from it. You can't go around it. You can't jump through it. You have to go through it so you can get over it. And when I say get over it, you're never truly over it. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, when I say get over it, you get over that emotion, that place that you're stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think it
that's
helps
what
you
I
hit the
mean.
next level because every time, like when you go through shit like that, you get a little stronger, right? Like you hit
Yeah.
another level of capacity for life and for challenge. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man. And the other thing, like I love that you're gonna be different than everyone else because you should be. You are you. You're the only fucking
100%,
person
man.
that's you in the world, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like I'd be
Yeah.
shitting all over God's creation if I wasn't authentically me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
man.
like I'm
Exactly.
here. I can reach certain people in the exact same industry that a million other coaches are in that a million other coaches can't reach because of
Yeah.
my story, because I'm me. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I can connect and
Yeah.
identify with those people on that level
Yeah.
because of my personal
Hell,
journey. You get it. You know that, right? And so it's like I
yeah.
have to show up authentically as myself and I have to show up and push myself as hard as I can, right? Because
I
it's
love
like
it, man.
that's my calling, bro, and I got to show up.
Yeah.
I'd be letting my higher power down and my family if I didn't push myself as hard as I can.
Yeah. And be authentic, like you're saying, right? Because
Yeah.
then you just be fake, you know? And who the fuck wants to take any advice from someone that's
You can
fake? You know
you can
what I mean?
read it, you can feel it, you can see it a
Yeah.
mile away, right? It's like you got to be
Yeah.
real and authentic, man. And it's like, yeah, it's like that was the biggest struggle in the beginning, and then it was like, okay, now I just got to keep pushing, right? Being
Yeah.
being authentic, being real, being honest, telling people what's going on in my head. Like I got to tell people because shit goes crazy in there.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
but that's
man.
how I let people carry me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if I'm left alone up here, dude, I'm in dangerous territory.
Yeah. I
You know
know,
what I
man.
mean?
I know. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. The shit that goes through. I mean, like, you know, especially being depressed, man. The shit that goes
Yeah.
through your head is fucking. It's. I'll be honest with you. I was crying in the shower about a month ago, man. You know,
Yeah.
just I was having definitely a hard week, and I was crying in the shower. Like, I don't want to be here, but at the same time, I want to be here,
I know,
and I
yeah.
was battling that. You know what I mean? I'm battling that, but there's no way that I'm not gonna be here because I have this my daughter that counting on me. She doesn't really have her mom fully in her life. You know, I
Mhm.
hope one day that her mom picks up her shit and comes into her life. You know, so she only has me. So if I'm not here, who the hell is going to take care of her at the end of the day, right? You know what I mean? So I was battling that with me. So like, I mean, and I have on my social media, I have me crying. You know what I mean? I'm showing my vulnerable side. It's about being real with your public, man. And I know you like you're the same as me, man. I can tell right away, you know, and
Yeah.
it's I think that you're gonna go even farther than you think, my friend. I think you're gonna go farther than you think. I can feel it for you, brother. So
Yeah,
I'm
man,
proud
I'm
of you, man.
excited. Thanks, bro.
Can you we're getting the end here, but can you plug your shit one more time so people, and
Yep.
if you're listening to this, go fucking see Mike, man. Go give him some love. Go take the courses, man. You know, he's changing the world, man. You know, he lived the experience. He lived the experience. A lot of these people out there, they have not lived the experience, you know, and I think that's a big problem. I mean, you know, lived experience, you can't beat that. You know, you can't be. You can go to school all you want and read all the fucking books and
Yeah.
do all the tests you want. You know what I mean? But you can't beat the lived-in experience. And Mike's got that shit. So go check him out, support him, and you know, show him some love, man. The guy's a fucking great guy, and he's doing great things. So I just wanted
Appreciate
to
it.
say that, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, my Facebook again is Mike O'Brien. Again, you'll see this beautiful face and me with my arms crossed on my page. That's my profile picture. And the Instagram is Coach Mike O'Brien. And you guys see tons of
Awesome.
value. That's the other thing, man. Like, go check out my Instagram and shit because I post tons of value. We got entertainment on there. It's me and my family, me and my partner. We're silly, we're
Yeah.
playful, we're fun, right? We got entertaining stuff on there,
Yep.
but I do have tons of value on there as well. Like I have people that come to my page, just consume my content, follow what I say, and get amazing results. And literally message me like, hey, man, I know I haven't signed up. I'm going to sign up. I want to. But just from following your free advice, I've lost this much weight and I'm this much better since doing that. And I'm like, yes. Like, and that's what my head
Fuck
coach
yeah.
teaches, right? Like, give as much value as possible, change lives for free. Then people will love to pay you for your better services. Right. And so I'm like, yes. I'm
100%,
like, that's
man.
what I live
Love it,
for,
brother.
bro. You know?
Love it, man. I love it, dude. You're doing amazing things, like I said, and I'll say that over and over again, man. So if you want to
Appreciate it.
find Mike, check out the description below. His shit will be there, and you can even check him stubbing his toe
Yeah.
because he's got a video on there and he stubbed his toe and it just came out. So I was kind of I was laughing at the same time as like ooh because I know what
Yeah,
that feels like,
bro,
man.
it's so hard, man. It is rough. That's what I mean, though. I just post all my shit, man. You get to live
Yeah.
a day in the life, man. Right?
There you go, man. Yeah. So it's real, it's raw, just like Raw Minds, man. So
Yeah.
anyways, I just want to say again, thanks, Mike, for coming out, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for being part of the Raw Mind family. And if I ever in your way or you're in my way, man, hit me up. We'll go for a coffee, man. So
Sounds good, bro.
definitely.
Appreciate you, dog.
Thank you. You too, brother. Well, anyways, take it easy, everybody. Appreciate all of you. And we'll see you next week. Bye.